I am with you now. Greetings, my beloveds. I am Fabian. Welcome to ChristosAvatar.com. Today, we're going to be talking about Indigo Indigo Children, Machaka. Holy ones, some of you watching this video, I just want you to realize are Indigo Children. Okay. Excuse me. I am, today is just a great honor, and I'm part of this. I'm grateful to be part of this. Indigo Children, which are future humans that have come to help the human race to evolve spiritually and to help us ascend to that next level of consciousness. In order to really understand what the Indigo Children are, it is necessary to explain a few spiritual concepts that you are probably not familiar with. For example, it is necessary to understand dimensions and densities, starseeds, inner earth, chakras, ascension, DNA, and genetic hybridization. And this is the context that the Indigo Children can be known and understood. For example, since indigos are starseeds from inner earth, you need to learn what that really means. Otherwise, the indigos will remain a mystery, and you will continue, to be misunderstood. And believe me, the indigos are misunderstood in your time period here. And that's why there's so many problems going on, which we'll explain. And over the past few decades, the Indigo Children have caught the attention of the scientific communities in USA, China, Mexico, Russia, and a few other countries. But these children display unusual physical and psychological attributes that separate them from the norm, such as enhanced immunological systems and advanced genius, highly gifted intelligence, to more extraordinary abilities of paranormal nature. Some of us are shy or uncomfortable to talk about these psychic powers. Most often we do not hear about this, of course, in mainstream analysis when they're talking about Indigo Children, because if you search online, you will find videos, documentaries about them. I mean, it's like in recent times, the term Indigo Children has become popular. It's like a new breed of children, they're trying to say. They really are the next generation of human, because they represent like consciousness. If you understand consciousness, there's different stages and different levels of your own, you would say, matrix. And these Indigo Children come from high levels of this structure, which we will explain. So that's what makes them like the next human. And the distinction lies within their like intrinsic nature, the spiritual nature. It's spiritual. And most people in the 3D world walking around, it's like everything's about external, everything on the outside, everything about the superficial, what's on the surface. Okay? I mean, because the truth is the indigo represent an ancient consciousness once prevalent long ago on Earth. And in their reemergence today, oh, here comes these special children today. What's this all about? Because they serve as harbingers of our race evolution. Because they're time travelers. Understand, they're future humans coming back to basically talk to themselves. Because if you understand the law of one, we are all one. And this is what the indigo represent in physical manifestation here in our contemporary world. During this ascension process, they're trying to say, hello. They're the way shores of things to come. As the human race, evolution, the spiritual evolution of mankind gets closer to its intended, it's like its intended hidden destination. Because you could say this is like sacred spiritual texts that that were only talked about in magical circles, like the special type of degrees of your secret societies. Well, this is not going to be secret anymore. Understand? It is coming out. And the Indigos are here to teach us about Ascension. It's actually more accurate to call it transmutational dimensional ascension. However, every Indigo, well, they have to first wake up. They go through a period of spiritual awakening, and there's a lot of sleeping Indigos. They're not awake. They're not doing their contract. Hello, Indigo. Some of you are Indigo. And to remember who they are and in that life, what their life mission is. Because most videos online, I'm sure you've searched and seen some, documentaries about the Indigos do not explain the spiritual significance of these children. That's what we're doing here today. Many of those videos mostly just talk about the negative aspects of Indigo children, putting them down. Why are they putting these children down? Understand? You will. Because how these kids are being, institutionalized and labeled with some horrible mental or emotional disease, which they don't really have. But in this presentation, I will share some of the most hidden secrets of the Indigos that you're not going to find anywhere else, because they don't represent, they don't express, they don't carry, they don't connect to the truth, to the sacred ones. You understand there is a connection, a divine connection with the Indigos. And to do so effectively, to help you understand the Indigo, I have to provide an expanded paradigm of understanding. A little bit, take your regular ideas of reality and stretch them, be flexible with it a little bit today. Do not judge, holy ones, within which the truths of the Indigos can be more clearly perceived. Comprehending the nature of the Indigo children. Some of you have Indigo children in your house, and the nature of human existence itself requires first and foremost the acknowledgement of multidimensional reality, the structure of our real reality. A concept contemporary science has yet to validate. Oh, do we need them to validate? You can experience, you can witness, you can know it yourself. So that's the mainstream view. Here, we are looking into the deeper aspects of the origins. The details of the paradigm within which the Indigo phenomena can be understood include advanced scientific perspectives regarding ultra-micro particle physics, scalar grid mechanics, templates of 15-dimensional structure, and their corresponding 15 dimensions of consciousness and biology, higher dimensions, attributes of your identity, because each conscious level is another identity, another being, another consciousness, another world. That's what each dimension is, and it's another strand of DNA, which we will explain in today's video, that they're not explaining in these other documentaries about Indigos. Is this a documentary about Indigos? So thank you for coming to the Machua. It's called the truth, the source, the connection, the Makua Chichas. It's an intimate relationship with the DNA. Okay, this Indigo program also includes, explanations of and it is tangible structure of the soul. Can you understand the soul? Yes, you can. You can measure it. It's not just spirituality, it's spiritual science. Okay, and it's expansive picture of human evolution that threatens to turn upside down your current contemporary ideologies, endorsed by your traditional scientific, psychological, religious, and historical models that are automatically given to you. Did you notice this? No? This paradigm, Indigo paradigm of reality interpretation, involves far more than any, paradigm presently understood within the mainstream view. There we go again with the mainstream view. Are you still with the mainstream view? No, you're watching this video, aren't you? Machiwaka. Now, once this framework, because some of you understand this framework, expanded paradigm, once it's established, oh, okay, then we can explore the more unusual qualities of indigo children. You know, the reasons behind their accelerated development and, well, the implications of the indigo phenomenon within contemporary society. So let us dive deep into the core spiritual aspects of the indigo children by first explaining dimensions and densities. Yippee! All right, let's do this.
Okay, so this is a diagram of our real reality, and it's called a 15-dimensional time matrix, as you can see. And uh, and the reason for that is because we do have 15 different levels of consciousness. And as you can see to right to the left, you'll see what type of beings live in that universe. Every 3 dimensions is another, you would say, universe. As you can see here, it's like a structure of spheres or egg shapes, eggs within eggs within eggs within eggs. So this is an example of how you can visualize what our universe is designed. And so the important part is to understand the density universes. As you see here, it's the one that we live in of 3D, dimension 3. This is D stands for dimension. So um, the first 3 dimensions is where we live here in Earth. Okay. So as spiritual beings, we are trying to go uh, up this level of consciousness. Okay. Uh, Up, ascend up this dimension, this dimension, this dimension, and then when you get out of here, then you're an ascended master. The gray, this gray color represents the ascended masters, and as you can see, there's 3 levels of that. So now this is the ones that this is what we're concerned with: the 5 densities of matter, of consciousness. So a density is represents not just the consciousness but the biology and the way that the matter is in the that universe. So here we are in 3D and we realize it's a carbon matter universe, and we're called incarnate beings, and there's 3 dimensions. All densities have 3 dimensions, and we have them numbered with D, D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, D6. So as we ascend from 3D, we're going to go into 4D. So as you can see, we're not only going to go to the next dimension, but we're going into the next density. So let me go out here, center over here. As you can see, 3 dimensions equal 1 density. And here's 1 dimension. So now this is how you ascend out of this time matrix, and this is time. As you can see, these little spheres of time coming out, coming out, coming out, coming out. So you will come out to the final sphere and leave and go into the ascend the this realm is called the energy matrix. So outside of the last density of the time matrix, you enter the energy matrix. Okay, let me. So we have 15 levels, and we're only on level 3. Now we're just explaining all of this so we can. This will help you to realize what indigos are, because as we are here in this evolution of consciousness, the indigo's consciousness is coming from Rishi level, and also ascended master level. So these beings in density 5, see density 5, are called Rishi beings. Density 4, they're called avatars. And then the density 3 are oversouls. Density 2, souls, and then it incarnates. So the Indigos are coming from this level and this level, and then they will incarnate into a race in the inner Earth. This is Earth, and we're at 3D, and you would say that inner Earth is between 3D and 4D. So they're right in the middle. Inner Earth is right in the middle of these two dimensions, and it's so you would say it's 3.5 dimension, and it's been called the inner Earth. And so indigos are star seeds that are embodied in the inner Earth. This would be about this level, and they are incarnating from this levels, from the Rishi level and the Ascended Masters. So when, let's say you have an Indigo Child, you're dealing with one of these beings, excuse me, one of these beings up here. And we're dealing with our human drama here, and they're here to help us with that, to help us ascend out of this level and actually get back to our level that we were before as an angelic human race. Because what these beings are, indigos, they came to this level, D6, and there's a race that they would incarnate into, and that is the Starseed race, a race that's meant to make other races, and that has happened with the human race experiment. We're currently, you would say, fell down to Earth, but our original home is Tara. This is where we're from. And when we're actually, you would say, these are cycles of time. So look at how far, if we're around 3D, look how far Tara is in the future, okay? Much less Gaia. So now, this is where all our dramas are coming from Tara. And this is where, so since we have dramas over here, we have beings like the Indigo coming from a Rishi and Ascended Master level to come help us out with our problems. Okay, so let me show you, like this is a Density Universe 1. So on this other one, it's this one, zoomed up, make on bigger scale. Okay, so now dimension 1, 2, and 3. So you see, this is what you call a planetary time cycle. It's a time cycle, and we're talking about planetary type of scales. So obviously, we're dealing with much greater time scales than when we're used to, or how old we think the humans are, is something completely different. Now here we are at this ascension cycle. As you can see, there's a, let me straighten this out. There's an ascension cycle and 2 ascension cycles. That's a Stargate opening cycle. Like we have chakras, well, so does the planet. And there's 2 periods of time that it's called a Stargate opening cycle or a stellar activation cycle, and that's what we're in. And that's why the Indigos are here. They're help us to get through this ascension cycle so we can, instead of fail, we may fail and de-evolve, go down in our energies, go down lower than 3D. There's beings up here who are maybe dark avatars up here, dark avatars. They have fallen lower. They'll fall more. Keep on falling, fallen angelic. Because this is what this is, and this is what the indigos represent as a spiritual. This is a spiritual war, and that's why they made a race of lower beings that these beings can incarnate into in the inner earth and help humans out with their problems of ascension. And we want to get through this ascension, and this is just to explain to you a little bit. If you want to learn more about the inner earth, please watch my inner earth video. And if you want to learn more about Starseeds, please watch my Starseeds video. And I also have this information on my website. Take a look at crystalsavatar.com. And so this just gives you an understanding, give you a reference point of what we're dealing with. This is strands of DNA as well. So like I said, this race that they're incarnating into, the Ascended Masters and Rishi, they have 6 strands of DNA activated. Since they have a strand of 6 strands, here we only have 3 strands of DNA. But since we are from Tara, we are angelic humans with a 12-strand DNA template. Our template has 12 strands. Now let me show you another diagram this is what represents a Starseed DNA template. There's 12 of these representing a strand of DNA. And as there is the Lemurians, they help build strand 2. Okay? Notice 2 represents dimension 2. Okay? So Lemurians represent a time period around here. And they're building the 2nd strand of DNA. This is the Lemurians. This is the Atlanteans. They're building the 3rd strand of DNA. And it's a race. Excuse me, wrong one. It's building strand 3 so that we can experience the 3rd dimension in a physical form. Our consciousness is in the astral, but our bodies and physical experience, you could say, is in the D3, dimension 30. So these beings have 3 strands of, that's us. We're called the Aryans. We're the ones that came after the Atlanteans, so we're working on this one. We haven't gotten very far, folks. And if you can't get the strand finished, then you can't ascend. And we're stuck here. Now, this is a starseed. No, this is us. A starseed, you see, there's only 12. Now, look at this. This is human. Potential. We have to finish this so we can hook up to this and fish and develop those as well. This is a starseed indigo potential. They have 24 strands of DNA. Why? So once again, so they can have these, so they can host the energies of these beings, downstepping to this level, inner earth level. That to them, that's extremely low. For us, it's high, because these beings are actually ascended masters inside this level of consciousness, fitting into this level of consciousness. And the races that live in inner earth are representing D6 energies. And what, if you guys notice, this is the chakra system. This is your root chakra, 1. Sacral chakra, 2. This is your mental, you would say, solar plexus, your heart, your throat, your 3rd eye. And we all know the color of the 3rd eye ray is the indigo color, like a blue but with some purple in it. So this is why the indigos are also called indigo. It's a nickname for this color energy ray. because they have 6 strands of DNA activated at birth. You can find all of this at my website. Let me crystalsavatar.com. I have all these diagrams, I have all this information. You can learn this knowledge. This is what the Indigos are coming in with, baby. And this had to be explained, okay? This had to be explained, okay? This had to be explained so you can understand what an Indigo is. So let me get back to the other camera. Thank you so much.
So that was the presentation, understand? Indigo Children, as we have just demonstrated, are extraterrestrial, future race, human hybrids. Okay? Now, normally, now let's talk about spiritual. All spirits arrive in incarnation, right? It's like when you come into life through, but this is done through prearranged soul agreements. And when we speak of soul, like I showed you in the demonstration of the densities, the second density was the soul level. So that is considered a level. We get this idea of the soul when the soul is a level of consciousness. And we're in 3D, so this consciousness is kind of primitive compared to our first density is lower than second density. What I mean by lower is less data, less frequency, lower vibration. Okay, Matsuna Heiwa. So we have ordinary soul agreements. Okay, we're gonna put you with this family. Okay, let's go with that family. Let's do this and that. That's what your new life incarnation will be. Well, Indigo birthing contracts are a little bit different. Okay, they're orchestrated not at the soul level, but at the Rishi level, the ascended master level of identity. And so this is why one of the reasons I had to explain to you, I had to show you, so you have some reference point, because you can see, you can understand, you can realize what the Indigo are. And these special agreements are called, in higher dimensional aspects, the parents of they had to agree to follow their genetic code. It had to be accelerated. It had to be enhanced. It's like, okay, you're gonna have a little baby Indigo child. You need to be enhanced, baby. You need to accommodate you to accommodate an Indigo birth. Which this being, like I just said, is an ascended master, an Rishi being stepping down. It's called the down stepping process. Consciousness trying to fit into this lower energy, and it is literally mathematically, lower energy vibration. So, the parents' DNA, your parents, if you're an Indigo child, your parents' DNA activation level must be enhanced, okay? Because you're a badass. Excuse my language. I might take that out, beep it out. But you're a spiritual badass, and your mommy, your daddy, they need your mommy. Needs some support. She needs to be enhanced, okay, to a high enough genetic code. And you agree. This is not by surprise or put on you. You had to agree to this in a higher contract, in a higher level. So the Indigo consciousness is a big deal. So you aren't birthing a regular baby, dear, with regular energies. That's all we're trying to say. Once an Indigo spirit has found the needed parental genetic code, there's my mommy, there's my daddy, and conception occurs, the Indigo spirit begins to step down the frequencies of its, consciousness into the vibrational range of the fetal pattern. The fetal, it's like fetal integration. It's like when it's the Indigo spirit activates. This is when actually at this stage of life that you don't think is life, that you're deleting this life, you're killing this life. It's already activating the 5th and 6th strands of DNA. Okay, so as you saw in the video, I showed you that humans only have three, and they're working on their fourth one, which is kind of stunted. That's how we are. We're a stunted fourth strand baby. But these indigos, they're coming in with fifth and sixth strands in the fetal. They're being activated in the fetal stage of. They're becoming little baby indigos, blue baby indigos. So remember that sixth strand is the energy of your third eye. So chakra one, red. 2, sacral, orange. 3, mental, you would say solar plexus. And this is the heart. This is the truth, the blue. But this is indigo, violet. But we're talking about the indigo. This is the indigo, the 6th DNA strand that created this vortex of power. They're getting that turned on, the 5th and the 6th. At birth, before birth, so a genetic, attribute that's like the future race of inner Earth starseeds. That's exactly what they are. And they're coming in, through this Earth, through your mommy and daddy, that had to be enhanced beforehand to handle your birth. It's like that. So unlike most contemporary humans, indigos are born with this, turn on, 5th and 6th strand DNA. So you can imagine their consciousness, and they have a potential. I showed you the potential of DNA. So, you got your hands full if you're an indigo parent. So, you know that already. You don't need me to tell you that. So, additional work on identifying indigos, speaking of which, has been compiled through unfortunately, the contemporary psychiatric model. So, these appealing qualities, demonstrated by the indigos, are brought to light along with their advances. But, while they hold great potentials in the modeling, the evolutionary advancement of humans, there is also a dark side to the indigo story, and that they frequently display, psychological behaviors associated with attention deficit disorder, ADD, and also attention deficit hyperactive disorder, ADHD. And, as some believe, remember, this is the psychological diagnosis. So these creatures, these beings, these consciousness, or with the. Anyways, they say the indigos can also be violent and such as demonstrating a contemporary way, modern. If you turn on the TV lately, you call it schoolyard slayings, children killing classmates, teachers, and others, So okay, so within the psychological paradigm, indigos are most often treated with symptom depression drug therapy. Would you want to be suppressed in any way? Well, the parents are doing this to their children. These organizations, this government is doing this to children. In which pharmaceuticals, such as Ritalin and Cylert, great products to humanity, are used to control disruptive behaviors. So this is how modern world creates solutions to such problems, like Ritalin for indigo children. Brilliant, but really this is we all know something. This has to do with corporations that manufacture that drug, and kickbacks going to nonprofit programs that need funding given to them by people who manufacture Ritalin. This was just found. Somebody did a documentary. You can watch it, tracing the corporation that makes Ritalin and its relationship to the ADD Foundation, which is supposed to be a group that are helping parents of children that have been diagnosed with attention deficit disorder and ADHD. So one of the things that they endorse is the use of Ritalin as part of their protocol. It's a good thing that will help the children. So I don't know if you've heard some of the horror stories. So they have put together documentary videos of parents. I have this child. I took them in and they identified them as this. Oh, they diagnosed my child. Finally. Oh, since the child has been on Ritalin, it's been a wonder. It's been so much better since he's had treatment. Not as uncontrollable. Okay, so this documentary made by the ADD Foundation. This is the organization that if you have a child having problems, or a teacher is having problems with your child goes to a psychologist. The psychologist refers you to what you call a support group. You go to the support group for parents who are trying to deal, with children who have been diagnosed with ADD. Thank you for diagnosing my child with ADD. You get to you get to that support group, and they give you literature, and they pat you on the back and say, we'll help you. And all these poor parents are just trying to find a way to deal with this child that they just want to deal, want this problem to go away. What's wrong with my kid? So what they don't say in the literature, what they had a very hard time tracking it down to the management levels of who's running this stuff anyway, right? Is the fact that about 80% of their funding, nonprofit organizations, support groups, supposedly grassroots, run by the parents, right? But 84% of their funding is from the corporation that manufactures Ritalin. It's not mentioned anywhere, and not in their website or brochures. Talk about possibly bias. It makes you angry. So when the people who made this documentary confronted the individuals they traced as management, they did one of those song and dances, kind of dodged the question, looked around, and I didn't feel it was necessary to put that in there. Don't you think that a little bit deceptive, Don't you think the parents that are being referred to your group as a support group who, with no bias, should have the right to know 80% of your funding that you depend on to function is coming from the corporation that manufactures the drug that you just so happen to be saying is wonderful to treat this? When in truth, the treatment level that hasn't been doing, long enough to even know if there's any long-term effects. That'd be nice to know beforehand that, you do this to my child, the treatment level is not as high as they tell you it is. These children are being railroaded. And so are the parents. And no one else is saying anything. We're saying something. It's actually criminal the way it's being done, because it's all quite, very quietly done. Misinformation, or not putting that information in the right places. The whole ADD movement is being amplified by this. If this wasn't bad enough, that was even worse. There's a video that's put out by the government, by the educational systems, and the government are studying these things that has this, bunch of parents that happen to have indigo children saying how this treatment has worked. And they're endorsing the drug therapy as something that appears to be very good for these children. They're not saying it's the only treatment, but they are saying it appears to be the way to go with these children. Of course, referring you to support groups. They got you all lined up. This is all gearing towards an end goal. You know what that end goal is supposed to do? So what they don't tell you about the video is there's the three primary parents featured. The parents, each of them had at one point in the last 10 years been on the heads of the national offices of the ADD Foundation that has taken the funding from the place that manufactures Ritalin. Oh, okay. Nice. It makes you angry. I just wanted to bring this to your attention. What is happening to these indigo children and what is happening to the parents of these children. This is frightening stuff. Okay? And now we have government videos. And of course, everybody turns to the government when you don't know what to do. You're just a citizen and you won't help. Okay? All right, I get it. You go to doctors, you go to school systems, you go to the government education programs because they're available. What else is out there that's available? And you are being taught that this is the way this is to be handled. You are being taught that this is how you handle this problem. Oh, I'm not doing anything wrong to my children then, because this is the way this is the way it's taught to be done. The reason you are being taught that comes down to dollars, okay? It's not because they care about your kid. It's not because they care about you. It's because they care about, padding their own pockets and also care about making sure the pharmaceutical industry gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So, on the show that we're talking about, they had 12 children who were on the Ritalin and Siler, and they interviewed the children. They were from I think 7 to 18, and they asked them, out of every one of those children, they said, I feel like I am in space. It's like, oh, come on. I don't even feel real anymore. I told my mother I want to be off of it, but she said no. I can think a little bit more clearly in certain ways. I can focus better, but I'm not even me. This is how these children were answering these things. The children, are having their parents say, "Oh, we love you, and we want to fix you." The kids are saying, "I feel like I'm in outer space on this stuff. It is doing something bad to me. Please take me off it." And parents are saying, "No, I can't do that. I'm trying to help you." So it's a catch-22 all the way around. Come on, there has to be another solution. But the solution is going to come by understanding, first of all, what in the world are we dealing with Indigo Children? Because the experts, oh, you're expert? You're expert. Are not going to figure this one out, are they? Have they? If you don't understand dimensional structure, dimensions, densities, you're not going to understand one iota of what an indigo represents. And you also are not going to understand the level of respect that they deserve. Because they deserve a level of respect. Did you notice where I told you they come from? They deserve to be accommodated here. They're not here by accident. They're here by design, by plan. If you're Indigo Child, you are here by invitation. You need to be helped to remember holy beings, Indigo Child. If your parents ain't going to do it, your government's not going to do it. The other Indigos have woken up, are calling you to waken up, Machiwa. Once they come into that gene code, once you're step down and incarnate into this world, up, bang, the shades go down. All of a sudden you're here. Don't remember who you were before you came here. And you're a being now of finite life experience. You were just cut off, or you think you're cut off. You're not cut off. It's still there, baby. We're gonna show you. We're gonna connect it. You can see it for yourself. They need to awaken if they're going to finish what they came here to do. Indigo Child, you've come here to do something important. Yes, it's up to us. Those of you out there who are parents of Indigos, the society around Indigos, even if you're not parents, we need to be aware that they are coming, aware that they're here, or aware that they need our help to give them an actual paradigm that they can use to awaken themselves, because they came here to help us, but not just us. They came here as a very large plan that's going on. We also have this, other, weird group over there, the fringes of society, called your alien abductees. People reporting alien abduction phenomena and all those things. Excuse me. They seem to be, unrelated, worlds apart. Had nothing to do with each other. Well, the big awakening here is going to be realizing both phenomena are real, and both are totally interconnected. So this is what the Indigo are is the manifestation, the connections. It's inside of you, child. This is what we're going to be explore as we get into, after we find out who they are, where we're going to see where that fits, and why especially people in psychology need to start to understand, to wake up, to get out of the mind control culturing programming, right? And to realize what is going on around them if they really want to help people. Do you want to help people? Are you helping people? Because again, you have another group of people, right? The contactees and the abductees. And a lot of people that are, even just channeling, are stuffed into the same category. If you take them to a shrink, and I call them shrinks, and psychology is something different. A shrink is one from the old school. Because they shrink your mind. They put you on drugs, and they will put you in institutions if you astral travel. Oh, don't you dare tell them you astral traveled. If you talk about astral projecting, they will put you on lithium treatment or something else to make it literally go away. So they're helping you shrink yourself. When I refer to shrinks, I'm not being derogatory toward all people in psychology or psychiatry, because true psychologists and psychiatrists are helping you to understand and develop your mind, your psyche. That's fine. Shrinks are helping you to stunt it. Right now, the majority of people in the psychology movement happen to be shrinks. Why? Because they've been taught to shrink their own minds and perceptions. They've been taught a model, they limit themselves, and they will limit you. They want you in the same basket because they don't want you to, have anything different. So it needs to be acknowledged. If we want to become functional in dealing with the reality around us that this fringe groups of people are trying to tell us something is going on here. The abductees are not having sleep apnea, they call it. Serious sleep disorder problems? No, they're not having hallucinations. They did not get sexually abused in childhood and transposed it into latent repressed memories of having aliens mess with them. Okay? 99% of the cases are not having these problems. You may find one or two picked up, from the TV, the themes, but most people claiming contact with visitors of some sort are having contact with visitors. And this has everything to do with Indigo's children. So right now, we want to end the video. We're trying to explain to you the types and purposes for Indigo Children. And from this information, most likely you're looking for confirmation about Indigos. And this will give you the best chance, man, of understanding yourself than any of these other resources. Whatever resources you're looking for, if they do not acknowledge the spiritual, I'm sorry, dear, but they're not the right connection. You're going to get a limited, distorted perspective. And I bet that some of the stuff we talked about today, you connect with, you grab on that, you say, yes. There are three primary types of Indigo Children, each with a different version of the Orpheum that I talked about, the Orpheum race, or high level being genetic code that has 24 strands of DNA, each serving a different purpose, with the present evolutional experiment called the Turnesium Angelic Human Race Experiment. That's also on my website if you want to check that out. Is it right here? Here. So Indigo, they're called Indigo Recessive Type 3. Excuse me. It's the most common type of the Indigo Children, presently incarnate on Earth, because they began birthing in very small numbers for over 200 years ago. And there's about 2,500,000 recessive incarnates now. Many adults, obviously, in childbearing age, and they're also having those Palladorian birthing contracts I mentioned, to parent more Indigo 3 children. So Indigo 3 children are having Indigo 3 children babies. So, so another 15,000 Indigo recessives, recently even birthed between 1999 and 2017. And another 150,000 Indigo children incarnated on Earth as part of the Planetary Protection Agreement, it's called. And the birth wave of these Indigo children, hello world, hello, this represents the return of what's called the Emerald Order. And it's this ancient elder race, Orpheum. It returns to Earth. It's returning to Earth, you see? You understand? During the Ascension cycle? Okay, to fulfill the Emerald Covenant, an agreement made, gosh, it doesn't make sense to you, but 248,000 years ago, the promised Earth humans assisting in re-evolving the 12-strand diamond sun DNA matrix. I mean, we're much more ancient and much more grandiose than what we've been taught, given. So the contemporary UFO movement with contactees claiming to be abducted by aliens, is part of this hybridization agendas, taking place. And there's all kinds of agendas and projects and experiments going on. Not all of it is consented. So this elder race, you would say humans visit from the future time, to assist in fulfilling the Emerald Covenant, and our ancient intruder races are doing the same thing. The ancient intruder races are the bad guys, the naughty ones, the fallen angelics, and it's not a joke. It's real. It's real. Dark beings. These fallen angelics. You would say the draconian ET races. They're dinos, like and they have a whole race of insectoids, and there's just all kinds of and then Anunnaki. Don't forget about those intruder visitors. They're also have a whole anti-Christos program. So if you're an indigo, you're serving light. Hello. You're on a spiritual journey. You're helping humans with their spiritual journey. It's a big deal. If you're scoffing and laughing at this ET talk or this inner Earth talk, well, you're not ready, dear. You're not an indigo, or you're just need to be some more, you would say, experience. So the type 3 indigos are part of the Orpheum. This is the big deal. This is the big part of the Indigo 3 types. They're part of a Orpheum Nephilim hybridization program. Okay? Through which ancient Nephilim, which is an Anunnaki plus a Starseed human from the seeding race, seeding 2, second seeding, you call it. This has to do with Atlantis, Lemuria. It has to do with the humans, root races. The root races and those that I explained a little bit today, and also the Starseed races. So and that's what Indigo are. They're Starseeds in the inner Earth, though. So they're a little bit high grade Indigos are. They're high grade Starseeds, because compared to a regular Starseed, they have more than one Starseed race, and they've made hybrid ones that have more than one Starseed race. You call them Starseeds, and I explain this in my Starseeds on the website. You can take a look in the description, and also you can watch my Starseeds video. So this is all a big deal. What this is having this Nephilim creature inside of you, also the Orpheum. So you have an Orpheum and a Nephilim inside. This is what's going on in the Indigo 3 type 3. You're like, huh? What was that? And so this is they have an Orpheum 24-strand doubles diamond. That means we have 3. I showed you that we have 3. They have 24 possibility, and plus the 11 strand. 11. What is that? That's an odd number. That's an off number. It's an off number because that's with the DNA templates of the fallen angelic races. They don't have higher than 11 strand. They can't go beyond the 11th dimension. They're stuck. Well, they did that intentionally, though. You can't really say they're stuck because they didn't want to be connected to the 12th. They removed that from their DNA. That's another whole video. But we talk about the basics of DNA. And these beings had we call an 11-strand reverse Templar Sun DNA. So it's different than the 24-strand DNA, as you can see. And they're limited from incarnating to the Rishi level. They can't. It's not in their DNA. They chopped it off. That's their will. That's their sovereign beings. They're part of the law of 1-2. But when you combine the Orpheum 24-strand and their 11-strand, now, if they successfully do this Indigo lifetime complete, then they will be a 12-strand. It's some type of host matrix. It's where you're helping Anunnaki, for example, go back to the love and light, go back to the Christos, go back to the 12-strand. They don't want to be part of the satanic Luciferian fallen angelic agendas anymore. They're tired of that, and they want to go back. They can. They go back through this process. Indigo type 3. I know it seems weird to have something kind of like you would call it from your surface belief systems, that it's possession, but realize this is an agreement. They agreed to do this, um, so they're like literal incarnations of two different avatars in one body. Because that is an 11th dimension is Avatar. I showed you the on that big thing. The Avatar is fourth density, so it's 10th, 11th, and 12th dimensional beings. So that's two avatars in one body. Um, and their lifetimes serve an important role in the greater plan of healing the DNA distortion within the Nephilim, the Anunnaki, and human genetic lines. Right. So once that Anunnaki is healed, restored their DNA, they're now a new race, a new consciousness. Now they have potential to ascend. Good for them. And you, Indigo Child, type number 3, are helping this race, are you not? You are the Orifeme, just like I explained in the earlier presentation. So they have extreme polarities, unfortunately, the Indigo Tech 3s. You guys have some dramatic lives, dramatic lives. All of the emotional bonding issues you have, and, you know, it may seem like angel and devil in one body. And now you understand why. I love you. We love you. Indigos receptors, you know, they're unique. and their incarnation involves more than one family line of consciousness. Indigo recessive spirits are literal composites of two entirely different avatars, incarnating into one body. The Orifeme avatar possesses the 24th strand, the Diamond Sun DNA, and remains all the, you know, you would say the dominant force within the personality. That's the whole arrangement. If the gene code activates, of course, if the gene code activates properly, because sometimes, like I said, Indigo don't wake up. They sleep and they never wake up, and they wasted a whole life. Oh well. So you know, the second avatar spirit is that of the 11th dimensional Nephilim, and the race. We talk more about Nephilim if you look into my extraterrestrial races page. I list over 99 different races. Take a look. It's on crystalavatar.com. And it will explain what the Nephilim are. And it's actually within our solar system, but it's an Anunnaki race. That's what Nephilim. So they've been trapped. Because of this DNA, they can't go beyond 11th. So for many thousands of years, you know, these they call fire letter sequences, or they're reversed, and the DNA distortions are in the Anunnaki line. So, but this 24 strand Orifeme DNA imprint, it's like the only coding high enough. Like I explained in the video, that's the only type of DNA that can handle an indigo. You know, it's the integrity when combined with the Nephilim's Templar Sun DNA. You know, the indigo recessive imprint has been created to allow Nephilim avatars who desire, you know, to evolve back into their ascension code, a new race line of evolution. It's a great honor to be an Indigo 3. So they all are, of course. I'm just saying what their main purpose is. So then the incarnating Nephilim avatar must agree to function in subservience, you know, to the Orifeme avatar until the Nephilim regains the D12 fire letters that we, you know, it finally becomes a new consciousness. It will allow them then to, you know, connect with their Rishi collective. My great God, it's such a great, gives me goosebumps. You know, you just gave that person a connection to their higher consciousness. It's a great honor, man. So they may evolve to, you know, experience the frequencies of love, Anunnaki, you know, in genuine bonding with compassion for other life forms. Oh, wow. So, you know, it's happiness, it's celebration. What we're doing is important. You understand, Indigo Child? So, and by the way, just because it says children doesn't mean it's limited to children. Obviously, the child grows up. There's Indigo adults, just for those who are not getting that part, I guess. But you know, but Indigo recessives, that's, you know, they have most difficulty in balancing polarities in consciousness, you know, due to that reverse Nephilim fire letters. So they're most vulnerable to. Okay, so some of these make sense to you. You understand why. They're most vulnerable to obsessive compulsive disorders, you know, behaviors. They're bipolar disorders, an extreme polarity, you know, in perspectives, like extreme opposite changes of a. Yeah, so nothing in the middle. You're extreme on one side or the other. So, you know, the Nephilim imprint tends to activate first in the type 3, and so often creating, like you would say at that beginning stages from the Nephilim being in charge would be aggressive, hyperactive child that spends most of its early life, you know, testing the extremes of the boundaries between right and wrong, constantly challenging authority as a young, you know, kid, baby, whatever. Just as, you know, the type 3 may sometimes like the child from hell, it maybe do a complete turnaround into nearly angelic loving behavior. Now you understand why. At times it may seem as if the child has an evil twin that emerges, a dark side to the personality that is capable. We've seen it, all seen it, extreme thoughtlessness and cruelty. It's like, what'd you do with my child? Is this my child? The negative characteristics of the Indigo 3 Indigo emerge as the DNA imprint of the Nephilim activates. And shortly thereafter, though, the Orphine part of the identity attempts to clear the distorted DNA imprint. It's a spiritual situation, man. What's going on is like a good alchemy, like a transformation. So it's a counterbalancing. It's with the opposite fire letter sequence that the Orpheum is doing. So, it's creating the more extreme and rapid shifts of polarity. You're being like in a tug of war, baby. You don't know what's going on inside of you, do you, Indigo? Yeah, you do. At least you have an idea. And so this all leads somewhere good. So when you find out who you are, you're gonna have less problems because you'll start thinking of solutions to your problems, your real problems that your shrink did not give you. They wanted to dispose of you, man. Your parents don't know better. You don't hate them too much, but now you're an adult. Maybe take things into your own hands. Take your healing in your own hands. Maybe you can are a Nephilim trying to become better, or maybe you're the Orpheum. Whichever one, you're watching this video for a reason. So the negative characteristics, it's like an imprint. So and the counterbalancing happens, and the changes of the behavior is now explained. But it sounds strange and crazy, but you understand this is a spiritual thing. This is a genetic hosting program, something like this. So and it has to do with the consciousness. So the polarity extremes in the personality of type 3s often lead to like self-destructive behaviors and substance abuse. Sound familiar? I mean, because you're just trying to numb yourself, from the near constant feeling of internal conflict. Oh shit, you stop this, apprehension inside of you. It's like the Nephilim avatar identity attempts to overrun the identity. Well, so the Orpheum avatar will assert its authority, shutting down. Listen to this. Shutting down the communication facilities if necessary. Most cases of autism occur in type 3 indigo children as a result, of the Orpheum avatar unplugging some of the Nephilim DNA codes to regain control over the body. Like I said before, this is all agreed. The Nephilim agreed to the situation so it could grow. And this is gonna tough love, baby. So in these cases, the conscious personality usually feels stuck in the middle of an internal battle it cannot comprehend. And you think your shrink's gonna comprehend, and experience great fear. It could be dreadful in apprehension, depression, chemical imbalances that result from you would call a morphogenetic disharmony. So the type 3 may also display, the opposite polarity qualities, being an excessively good, baby and child, then having a reversal into the dark side, during adolescence, oh joy, and adulthood. Ideally the two avatars that share the same body and personality structure, work to balance the polarities in the DNA. The light side of the personality guiding the dark side into healing, as reverse fire letters. Excuse me. Because the Nephilim code reorder and progressively connect to the harmonious frequencies of the Orpheum avatar. That's the whole point of this thing, and the Rishi awareness. So, but usually Indigo type 3s will not complete soul integration by age 12, which is possible for ordinary Indigos, type 2 and type 1. So, but to be able to activate their latent Orpheum physical ascension potentials, that if they could do that in one life, that'd be fantastic. I suppose it's possible. So, but very challenging. But the core life purpose of the Indigo 3 is for the Orpheum avatar to progressively restore your fire letter sequences in the Nephilim DNA and morphogenic field. So that's what the whole thing will accomplish. Once that's accomplished through reassembly of the 12th DNA strand, which usually occurs after bodily death. The Nephilim avatar is reconnected, to its own Rishi. The Orpheum avatar withdraws from its morphogenic field, disengaging the two identities. It's a great blessing. It's beautiful. So, now, due to the Nephilim imprint, the Type 3 Indigos tend to be very gifted in math, languages, technological sciences. They can be drawn to like competitive endeavors, especially those involving like good versus evil, or related polarity traumas. You like those extremes. You love those extremes. The softer side of the Type 3 can be very innocent and childlike at any age, with quizzical desires to learn and especially to experience emotion involving bonding and its physical expression, emotional bonding. It's a new experience for a Nephilim. And a Type 3 maybe, you have difficulty with polarity extremes or over bonding issues for life, but that's their lessons, you understand. But though Type 3 Indigos may seem as highly conflicted souls and sometimes die early, it is sometimes, well, it's just important to realize that their lives are not wasted. They have incarnated, right, to assist in the creation of a new race through which an ancient race, that's what the Anunnaki are, can re-evolve back into light. I mean, how's that, man? they're you know they're doing a great service for both the Nephilim and the human lineage in terms of realigning the Anunnaki genetic distortions in both races. So usually the worst extremes of behaviors take place at the beginning and ending of the life cycle. Those Indigos tend to have a stronger, but I mean at least a stronger physical constitution than other Indigos and have strong athletic abilities. But if the Nephilim imprint is strong, the physical body may grow to exhibit elongated portions. I just thought of some of my own family. Interesting. Characteristics of it's a Nephilim physique. So the face often has distinctive, like more chiseled bone structure, even if the traits are not within the parental genetic line because it's from another line. The Indigo recessive, this type 3 Indigo, it has 24 strand diamond done sun DNA plus the 11 strand diverse Templar DNA. So it comes out to be a 12 strand like the Turnesium angelic human has. So the potential when fully integrated, that's its potential. And like all Indigos, type 3s, they feel out of place, bored, disinterested. I'm not interested in anything, earthly affairs. You can't benefit from, being acknowledged as visitors from elsewhere that march to their own drum, right? Because this is exactly what Indigos are. They march to their own drum, all right. So now, but let's talk about Indigos 2, type 2. They're part of the Orpheum Human Hybridization Program, the 12-strand diamond sun DNA matrix. And it's been, this is how it's reinstated with the Earth-human genetic lines, in order to restore the codes of ascension to the human lineage. And the Indigo, 2s have this exotic Orpheum 24-strand DNA. Indigo type 2s, they are they're just one Orpheum avatar in the body. So don't worry, you don't have two going on. So you don't display as many extremes and polarity imbalance as often displayed in Indigo 3s. So the recessives. So the core of the life purpose though is to assist in raising consciousness with the Earth human lineage. Maybe you're teaching, maybe you're helping people evolve to a higher consciousness. Maybe you're teaching Ascension. So to build critical mass, and the Diamond Sun DNA matrix within the human gene pool. So if we want to raise their consciousness, what is that doing? It's the energies are raising their DNA strands. Excuse me. But these type 2s also assist Indigo 1s, composites they're called, in holding and running, we would say, the higher dimensional frequency for the planetary grid work. So they could say they're assistants to the Indigo 1s. So and so the Indigo dominants, they're called, have advanced psychic development though, and you may have like an open interdimensional contact from birth through life. Throughout your life you might have spirit guides or some connection to your ET family, something like this. You have these psychic abilities, you have these connections for a reason. So obviously you're going to connect to these families, these ETs, these part of your heritage, your spiritual heritage, and they are gifted. These Indigo 2s are gifted in linguistic translation, the arts, music, interpersonal diplomacy. But they may become excessively introverted due to the fear of the Earth environment. It's like they're indigos are starseeds. They're from other worlds. They're now suddenly thrown into a whole bunch of negative energies. So you understand the feeling. You understand. Type twos are the most personal of the indigo. Three indigos, and they enjoy human bonding and shelter. So, and finally, the indigo ones I just want to talk about are part of the Orpheum Human Hybridization Program, and they're serving to accelerate and expedite reaching critical mass of the diamond sun DNA matrix with the race gene pool. So the type 1 indigos, they these guys are super bass at I can't say that. They're super indigos because they have Emerald Order Orpheum. So Emerald Order is 48 strands of DNA. I didn't even show that on the presentation. That's you saw the 24 strand. Imagine that twice as many strands. That's what the Emerald Sun DNA is. That's what the Indigo Type 1s have. So they're definitely Ascended Masters. So which gives them, not all of them, but I'm saying you're going to get most of them Ascended Masters going into a 48 template DNA pattern. So, and it gives them a maximum potential of, up to 48 Ascension codes through which, the avatar identity may embody and the consciousness may expand into like Ascended Masters identity levels in one lifetime. You could do that. It's in your DNA. Like you heard like some I don't know, like certain East philosophies, they talk about the rainbow body and suddenly transforming into light. It's kind of like this. You're gonna like transmute into light, and in that one lifetime, you'll be able to do this. It's almost like not really dying. You're not dying. You're just before you die biologically. So, but there's one thing that's kind of weird about this indigo type 1 because it's kind of like a walk-in process. So indigos they always incarnate through walk-in agreements whereby a small soul essence I mean I gotta say I know a walk-in, so it is just so interesting to have this knowledge. And so this is knowledge, this is uh, energy, these are codes, Holy One. So now, from their own oversoul collective, that's, I showed you on the map where the oversouls are. This begins the incarnation to raise the frequency of the body. And once the DNA is sufficiently activated, the original soul walks out and into Ascension. And the avatar identity, the Indigo Type 1, walks in, transfer the spirit essence into the body. That's a walk in to awaken within the body and fulfill its world service contract. And the walk-in usually occurs at age 12 or 22. These numbers are important, and it must occur before the age 33. So the type 1 indigos have advanced psychic and occasionally direct manifestation abilities, usually have, physical contact with their elder race, whatever that is, their soul family, and these ETs. You're getting contacted. So, since childhood, and have a core life purpose to fulfill, like I said, advanced planetary grid work contracts. So they are sensitive to everything and have remained detached from like human issues to focus on like their service contract. So they're kind of loners, and they hold a great love within all for all life forms. So now there could be indigos sitting here right now that you don't know you're an indigo yet either. You have a new framework. You might be saying, do I fit into that? Maybe I do. Gosh, maybe I am an indigo. When you start to realize what that means in terms of identity, who you are, that's coming in here, you start to have some self-respect and start to get your priorities in order. Oh, gee, yeah, I'm an indigo. That resonates. Oh my gosh, I did come here to do something. I'm starting to remember what I came here to do. I was part of a world service team. We're here to stop pole shift. The indigos are here for huge reasons that our scientists are not even ready to fathom. Thank you for watching my video. If you want to learn more about the Indigo Children, please click on the links in the description of this video to check out more info on my website, crystalsavatar.com. And it has more details, more pictures, diagrams. And you guys, please like my video, thumbs up. I really appreciate it. This video was a lot of work, and I hope you were helped today. If you guys want to see more videos like this, please subscribe. Hit that subscribe button to my channel. I just want to leave you saying, love yourself. Love others around you. Much respect. Peace. Namaste. Machu. Day.